Back to the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington, where the Seahawks have posted a 10-0 lead over the two-time defending Super Bowl champion, Denver Broncos. And they're out in full Hawks regalia, 66,400 here at the Kingdome, and it's rocking the way it used to a decade ago.
I wonder how long that takes. How long does it take you to do that, Paul?
About an hour and a half.
That's what I was thinking.
I was looking there. He almost lost one of his Hawkettes. The one next to him. Those are guys, I hope.
Now, when you're done, do you look in the mirror and say, hey, this works?
No. Excuse me, you have no mirrors in your home when you do this. You have no mirrors.
I think you do. You go, man, you look great.
You have no mirrors.
You got a chance to get on TV tonight.
Kerry Joseph and Amon Green deep to receive as we start the second half. Amon Green, blinding speed, doesn't get to use it, fumbled the ball. The Broncos say they have it. The officials have yet to signal. Now they do. Turnover, and Denver. Detron Smith knocked it loose.
Detron Smith, you talk about sacrifice your body for the cause. Watch this. Going down. Up over, that ball is out. There's just no question.
There's no way there's no way a guy should be able to split a double team like that. That's just a bad job of blocking on the special team. There's no way anybody should come down and just split a double team like they're not even there.
Went right through two guys and then laid a wicked hit on Amon Green. Denver needs to take advantage of this one. Miller to throw on first down, has time, goes to Smith. That's a 20-run wrapped up by Bellamy.
Rod Smith is hurt.
How frustrating must it be for Mike Shanahan? It seems every game, one of his big play guys, one of the important cogs in those two Super Bowl championships, has to be helped off the field. Unbelievable. Take a look at the first half numbers while we have the chance. Denver said it wanted to run the ball. They have run for 61 yards. Pretty good, but not great. Seattle passes for over 100. The difference down at the bottom. The turnover, the interception at the goal line. Seattle leads the NFL in interceptions, and they have gone 18 straight games, the longest streak in the NFL, with a turnover, at least one turnover in every ball game.
You know what's amazing to me is you're watching Denver's only down by 10 points, Joe, and with all these backup people playing.
.37 to go, third quarter. Big break for Denver as they recover a fumble on the kickoff. They have it at the Seattle 21-yard line, 2nd and 6. Amon Green, who coughed it up on the return. Denver trying to take advantage, down 10-0. Miller over the middle, complete. That's the helmet, not the ball, of Dwayne Carswell. It's a catch and a first down.
As they start to bring the tight end into play a little bit, I think they have to try and work the ball a little bit more to them. Seattle is widening out with the motion. Right in, you see him go out. Dwayne Carswell hooks around very quickly. Good pair of hands. That's his 11th catch of the season, and there goes the helmet. First thing you think of is just the ball. Second thing is you want to make sure his head's attached.
Jay Bellamy was going to dive on his helmet. That was the ball.
Rod Smith back in after he limped off the field. Olandis Gary pounds down to the 5-yard line. It will be 2nd and less than 2.
Oh, Joseph, you know how much I love fullbacks, and Howard Griffith is
you got this thing for
an
him.
exception. Watch number 29. Watch the block on Chad Brown. Bam! Right in the hole. Chad Brown can't make the play. Olandis Gary, that is just a great block.
Watch number 29. That is such a terrific block. You're right, Paul. Lower. He always seems to get lower than the person he's blocking. Chad tried to get down. He got a little bit lower.
And there are a lot of people that think that Griffith is the best blocking back in the NFL. That's Philip Daniels, who was shaken up on that last play. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcott. Solomon, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, at halftime, I talked to Mike Holmgren. He says he wants his team to do a better job of winning field position. Wasn't pleased with his defense ability to get off the field on third down. In fact, he only went 3 and out 2 times in the first half. Also wants his offense to do a better job at picking up the first downs. Now, I asked him to evaluate Joey Galloway's first half performance, and you know Mike Holmgren being the master of the understatement, he simply said, he's doing all right.
He's wonderful to be around. He's just a great guy. Wonderful sense of humor. Gary trying to pick up the first down, and he is ripped by Anthony Simmons, the middle linebacker. The young man who might have been a starter as a rookie in that spot, but banged up a knee.
Well, you're looking now at 4th down, but the thing that's really frustrating, I think, for Seattle, Joe, is the fact, 3rd down, excuse me, I'm sorry, the fact that Sam Adams is not in anymore. Sinclair isn't playing. Daniels just left. So they got one starter in the defensive line, Cortez Kennedy.
This offensive line right now is not really geared, to my opinion, to be able to run block. I think a little play action, a little movement still can work to the tight end.
Gary hit in the backfield. Again, it is Simmons who shot the gap and drilled it.
As I said, I don't believe they're geared to run block.
You know, the thing about it is, though, when you see Simmons make this play, his job is to go to Gary. I really believe, because he just lines up, he fills the hole.
Well, he's the only one in the backfield. There's one. They're going to take, you see it. He's married up on him. There goes. Anthony Simmons knows where he is. He has a gap to fill, and he filled it.
Jason Elam is on to try from 25 yards. A little more than an extra point, and Jason Elam is through 17 of 22 this year. So after the fumble, they at least pick up the field goal. It's a 7-point game. Traveling by the St. Paul. Insurance for business, without question, the St. Paul. And by Dell Computer. Be direct. Dell. Amon Green with a chance for redemption. Waiting with Kerry Joseph to return the kick. Green from the 3. Broncos clutching at the ball. He gets it back to the 28. Anthony Lynn down on special teams. For those of you who'd like to simultaneously experience tonight's game on television and online, log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com and click on the Enhanced TV logo. You'll find live up-to-the-second stats, graphics, NFL trivia, and a play-along game. It's ABC's Enhanced TV, and you may even be able to check out Joe and Paul's score online.
That's right. Just chipping away at the big
no
guy.
reason for them to go check the score.
Hasn't changed much.
No, does it?
Seattle from its own 28, 1st and 10, Ricky Waters. Picks up only 2. Traylor, who has had an impressive game at defensive tackle, makes the stop.
Keith Traylor he's had a great game. The first half, he was in Kitten's face all day.
Yeah, we saw the Seahawks go on quick counts before. I'm going to show you why. Tyrone Braxton, the safety this time. Watch this. He's going to come running up here. You'll see him come up. Kitten is at the line of scrimmage. He's talking. See him start up. Now, if he was to snap the ball quickly, he wouldn't be up around the line of scrimmage.
Kitna in trouble, and the Denver defense comes hard. Nate Wayne with his second big play of the ball game, his second sack of the season.
They went a lot of the first half, the Denver defense did, without going after Kitna. Now it looks like they've changed their philosophy.
Well, they sent 2 guys right up the gut, and this is where it comes from. And the guy that really gets to Kitna and makes him move is Darius Johnson, number 25. He makes Kitna step up.
Now it is 3rd and 14 for John Kitna, who has been sacked 18 times this season. Galloway is in as one of 3 wideouts. And it looked like Derek Mays got a step on the snap count.
And it looked like Denver's decided they're going to turn up the heat just a little bit more on Kitna.
Well, they had 2 safeties up there. 25, Darius Johnson.
Ball start, offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
And what do they say? If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kingdom?
Yeah, that's right. And number 34, Tyrone Braxton. Both guys were up on the line of scrimmage.
Greg Robinson has changed his philosophy a little bit this second half. And the place he's bringing people is not from the outside. He's bringing them up the middle, which reminds me, go back a couple years ago to the Super Bowl against the Green Bay Packers, of which Mike Holmgren was the coach. The Denver Broncos brought a lot of heat up the middle on Brett Favre in that one.
Kitna rolls away from pressure. Throws, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Torrey James, the former #2 draft pick out of LSU.
Joe, this is one time that Kitna really didn't have to throw the ball then. When he got to the outside, everybody on Denver's defense, where they were on the ground, all Kitna had to do was stop and set up and throw the football. He didn't have to throw this ball on the run. Watch to the left of the screen. Look at the guys. They're all on the ground. There are no white shirts in front of him. All he has to do now is sit.
You know, there's a couple things bad about that. First of all, you say he could have stopped, Paul. It's 3rd down and 19. He's trying to pick up 19 yards. He doesn't need to do it. His defense is playing too well.
And his father, all he can do is shake his head. The second big turnover for Denver here in the 3rd quarter. Look at this blitz. Everybody comes in. McCaffrey with a one-hand grab like somebody threw him a baseball. What a catch. Holy cow. It looked like Seattle brought 15 guys.
When you see it, it's going to look everybody up the middle. There comes Bellamy. He's the one that's running clean. He doesn't miss the shot like Joseph did, but the catch is incredible. The left hand never, ever gets to the ball. Look at this catch.
Oh, it's spectacular. The guy is such a brilliant receiver. Gary on the draw, nowhere to go. Cortez Kennedy wraps him up at the 37-yard line.
Cortez Kennedy, Joe, did this all by himself. You talk about quickness off the ball. Remember, he's one of the few healthy defensive linemen they have. Number 96. Watch Cortez Kennedy. He goes over the guard, boom, makes the play, and makes the tackle. That's fast.
3rd and 7. We are told that Sam Adams, the other tackle, is out for the rest of the game. He came in with a sprained knee. Sinclair was scratched earlier with a groin pull. Another blitz. Miller throws to Rod Smith. He got it inside the 30, a first down.
That would be the mismatch you're looking for. Willie Williams is only 5'9". Rod Smith, 6 feet, 200 pounds. Outside receiver on a quick slant. They're bringing everybody in the middle. You'll see him go up. Does a nice job at the line of scrimmage. Creates a little bit of space. Chris Miller hangs in the pocket. Gets the ball through the linebacker's arms for the completion.
First down, Broncos battling to stay alive. They came in 3 and 6. Miller, it's another blitz. This one caught by Chamberlain, the tight end. He'll pick up a couple of the 35. Seattle is really coming after him.
Well, you know, you may as well check his durability. I've said before, you know, Chris Miller has not been the most durable quarterback through his entire career, even with the 2.5-year, 3-year layoff. Jim Lynn, the linebacker coach, who now is calling the defensive signals, figures if we don't give him time, then we've got a good chance of having him put the ball someplace like he did down around the goal line and pick it off.
Miller missed 3 years because of a series of concussions in a short span of time. 10 out of 17 tonight. John Avery is in. And the Seahawks have used the timeout with 7:32 to go, 3rd quarter. A 1-touchdown game. Here are the standings in the AFC West coming into this game. Kansas City, Oakland, San Diego, all updated from earlier today. Seattle on top by a game and a half, 2 in the loss column. Denver at 3 and 6. They have to win to stay alive. They may have to win the rest of their ball games this year to qualify for the playoffs the way the wild card race is shaping up. Miller trying to buy some time. Floats for McCaffrey. McCaffrey goes down, and there's a flag.
They're going to call interference on Willie Williams. There was no way he could stop McCaffrey from going back to the corner.
At the end of it, it looked like their feet got tangled up, and normally they won't call that. Did you see something before?
Way before it, Mike. That flag was thrown 10 yards before they ever got their feet tangled.
Before the pass was thrown, holding defense, number 27. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Ed McCaffrey is trying to run a corner route. Willie Williams keeps outside position on him. Watch this. He keeps the outside position. Now he tries to work back. Right there, he grabs him. He's hanging on, hanging on, hanging on. The flag comes out long before he ever hits the ground.
Sean Springs is not on the field for the Seahawks. And we will check for you. He has gone to the locker room. We'll try to find out as quickly as possible what his problem may be. And Canty is in his spot. Canty, number 26.
I still like to try and get the ball to McCaffrey if I'm going to throw it.
Avery cuts it back, and a flag at the end of the play after Avery was already down. This is normally a hold, and the Seahawks defense is applauding.
But this is thrown by Ed Hockley, the referee, so he saw it from behind.
Holding, offense number 70, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Trey Teague, the backup tackle who got his first career start tonight.
You know, we've been talking about a lot of people, a lot of different people, talking about the Seahawks missing people. How about these Broncos? They're within 7 points of Seattle, and they're missing a ton of people. I mean, they've got most of their starters out.
I think it's a credit to Mike Shanahan and his coaching staff to be able to keep the intensity of this football team up. They've lost more people on this football team that are responsible for Pro Bowls and championships than anybody has.
After the hold, Miller to throw, now scrambles. Oh, McCaffrey is just ripped again. Back to the injuries for a second. They have lost more Pro Bowlers like McCaffrey, who missed last week, than most people have Pro Bowlers. Shannon Sharp, broken collarbone. They hope to have him back in December.
You know, people talk a lot, too, about, well, John Elway's not here. John Elway wasn't going to be here anyway, so I think we all ought to put that behind us, you know, certainly. But I really think the one thing that is missed is John's leadership. With the rotating of the quarterbacks, this offense has yet to really find somebody that can raise them to the level of play they need to. Brian Greasy, again, had it going a little bit, got hurt.
They go to the ground with Avery, and he stumbles forward across the 25.
Well, you said yesterday Mark Schlereth came in and sat down with us, and one of the more outspoken guys that I've ever met. But when you said to him, is there a leader on offense? And he thought for a second, and he said, no, there really isn't. The way you develop the leadership is you've got to make plays when the team really needs it. They haven't had anybody under center long enough to be able to do that. Chris Miller has been effective for them. Brian Greasy was effective, but they haven't been able to step up and make that crucial play.
Huge one here, 3rd and 13. Blitz coming. McCaffrey. Touchdown. Ed McCaffrey is a warrior.
And that's the kind of play I'm talking about. Chris Miller hanging in the pocket, somebody coming right in his face, and he makes the throw.
And Chris Canty, who was in for Sean Springs, was the guy who missed the tackle.
He also missed the coverage.
They're in man-to-man. Canty can't bring him down. You're talking about another little guy, 5'9". Ed McCaffrey is a load when he gets going.
Jason Elam to tie it. Chris Miller is going to save this football. It's his first touchdown pass since December 3rd, 1995 as a Ram. The beleaguered Denver Broncos, down 10-0 here in the Kingdome in Seattle, have fought back to tie up this ball game. Amon Green and Fabian Bowens deep to receive the kick. Green from the 7 to the 28. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with a look at one of the NFL's best. Mark Brunell and the first-place Jacksonville Jaguars host Ricky Williams and the New Orleans Saints. Join Joe, Paul, and me right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. The Jaguars may have scared their fans a little bit today with a 6-3 win at home.
You got to know Tom Coughlin isn't pleased with it.
Fumbled snap. Kitna somehow got it back, continues the roll, and throws out of bounds. Crockett was there with Dawkins on the incompletion.
That's the second time tonight that there's been a miscue between Chris Gray and John Kitna. Now, Chris Gray has taken over in the middle for Kevin Glover, who was their starting center. But he's just, for some reason, they're just not getting the exchange. And I always believe that it's the quarterback's responsibility to get the snap. You've got to stay with the center long enough to get the football. Chris Gray also was the short snapper on field goals and extra points, but he's got a busted up pinky in his left finger, the left hand.
2nd and 10. Kitna short set throws to Dawkins. First down for Sean Dawkins up near the 40. And John Kitna's mom is just having a tough time watching. Every time her son gets hit, and quarterbacks get hit a lot, Faye just can't take it. You can understand that.
You know, typical dad. He just, when he does something bad, he just sort of tips his head back, but he's just watching everything.
He'll let him know about it
Same
tonight.
eyes.
Let him know about it tonight.
The first down for Seattle's offense since a minute into the second quarter. Kitna under pressure again and got rid of it. Trevor Price, who's tied for third in the National Football League with 7 sacks, nearly had his 8th.
Well, this was a heads-up play by Kitna just to get the ball out of there because this was a sack. And he saw Ricky Waters. He was covered by a linebacker, but he threw it away and no one could get it.
I think he better be a little more careful. I think he's got to be a little bit more cautious. He tried to force one in on 3rd and 19. This one, he could have taken the sack and not hang the ball out to dry.
Those first 2 drives, very impressive. Almost nothing since. Waters trying to get to the outside. Nothing doing. Trevor Price was out there again, got help from Al Wilson, the middle linebacker, who moved into the lineup after John Mobley was hurt, and Glenn Cadrez had to go to the outside. And Wilson, a wicked hitter out of Tennessee, their first-round draft choice this year.
And here's the situation where the Denver Broncos, and they make no bones about it, on 3rd down and long. They love to come.
Well, they didn't in the first half, Paul. I'll grant that. But now Greg Robinson has changed his philosophy, and he's bringing a lot more people. And they're lined up to go again after him.
Kitna had it tipped. The blitz worked again. Pressure right up the gut.
George Coghill, number 48, comes flying through the hole created by the guys up front. It's very critical that the guys who are rushing create a lane. Watch this. You see the good job by the defenders on the line creating a lane for Coghill to come up and get his hands in the air.
Denver really turning it loose against the Seattle offense here in the second half. Eagles to kick to Watson. Very short. And kicks out of bounds. Good field position for the Broncos when we come back. After a punt of only 28 yards, the Denver defense trying to keep their hopes for the season alive. 10-10 Broncos and the Seahawks. 3:41 to go, third quarter. You're watching ESPN Sunday Night Football. Here's Sam Adams, now in civvies. He is gone for the night. Michael Sinclair, his running mate at left defensive end, does not play at all tonight. So half of the defensive line is gone. Denver has fought back to tie it at 10. Miller to throw, airs it out for Smith. And there's the flag. That had to be. Sean Springs, who came back into the lineup after being absent for a while, will pick up a flag 33 yards.
90% of the time, if you throw the ball deep and it winds up short, you're going to wind up with an interference call. The reason why Rod Smith does a terrific job, he's got Sean Springs beat right there. He's got him beat, and Springs has no chance but to try and catch up to him. In the meantime, tangles up with him and gets the interference call.
They'll take a whole lot of things, but they won't take your hands on a guy near the end of a play.
Mike Shanahan wanting the flag before it was thrown, then he can celebrate after he sees it.
The Denver Broncos in this second half have taken a different philosophy into this game. They were conservative on defense and conservative on offense. They've abandoned both that now. They're aggressive throwing the ball down the field, and their defense is coming after Seattle's offense.
Gary. Check in with Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Yeah, Mike, Seattle quarterback Sean Springs is back in the game, but he's battling injury. On Denver's last touchdown drive, Sean Springs had to leave the game with a sprained shoulder. They gave him treatment. He is now back in the game, but he is a little less than 100%. I'm seeing him trying to stretch that shoulder out and get it back to normal.
All right, Solomon, thank you. We saw him go to the locker room, and he picked up that 33-yard penalty the play before this. 2nd and 11. Miller with time, throwing for McCaffrey. Got it. He beat Willie Williams McCaffrey with another big catch, and what a pretty throw by Chris Miller.
Well, that's the thing that Chris Miller can do. Nobody's ever doubted the fact that he can throw the football well. Puts a nice tight spiral on it. McCaffrey does a good job of fighting through the jam. You just can't jam him. He's too big. And Willie Williams can't catch up to him.
Boy, is that a perfect throw?
Boy, you know, and they missed him in the last week's game, too. I mean, he is such a warrior.
Since Miller threw the interception, he has gone 8 for 8 for 92 yards. Gary, nothing there. Tries to bounce it outside, and Simmons just lays a shot on him at the end.
I'll say Anthony Simmons, this guy is really impressive. In that short area from tackle to tackle, he has taken everything there. Number 51, he doesn't quit. Anthony Simmons, watch him. He's right there on the right of your screen. Look at this. He finds Orlando Scary Wick. He sees him, goes back to the outside, and then lays a lick on him.
Chad Brown stands everything up, and he winds up getting in the mix even with Howard Griffin. In this situation, if you're Denver, you can take advantage of the aggressiveness of the linebackers of Seattle. Mike Shanahan might want to consider running a little play action, get those linebackers inside, jumping up, and try and get the ball to Dwayne Carsdale or Byron Chamberlain, one of the tight ends.
You know, it's the nature of this business. The teams and coaches draw criticism from the local press in their cities. But when we were looking through the Denver newspaper clips, it was really incredible to read some of the columns written by a guy named Mark Kisla, because they amounted to what I thought were vicious and personal attacks on Mike Shanahan. You would think that this Broncos coach, instead of winning back-to-back Super Bowls, hadn't won a game in 5 years. This guy deserves all the respect in the world and not cheap shots from people.
You know something else, too? He handles that with such class.
Yes, he does.
I mean, there's a lot of terrific coaches, a lot of fine people, and Mike is one of those guys that coaches in the National Football League.
Got all the respect in the world for him.
If you're a writer and you're going to pick on a coach, you better know who you're picking on.
There's some guys you can pick on, but Holmgren and Shanahan aren't two of them. 2nd and goal. Gary inside the 2.
I just don't believe that Denver's going to be able to pound the ball in. I didn't believe in the last series,
right,
and I certainly still don't.
Well, I think you're about to get your play-action pass.
McCaffrey is coming back into the game.
See, I would have liked it on 2nd down. Second down is when you sort of got them in a bind. It's 2nd down and 3. They're not quite sure. I would have liked the call better on the last one.
Well, they got a bunch of linebackers and defensive linemen in this game.
McCaffrey on the right side of the formation. Instead, they go to Griffith. Touchdown.
I like it. Man, to me, and you may as well try and run it the first time. Come on back with it at some point.
The first time that Howard Griffith has touched the ball tonight and gets his first touchdown catch of the year, and boy, was he wide open.
When you've got aggressive linebackers, watch Anthony Simmons. You saw him before. See him jump up? He just gets caught in the wash. He's responsible. Dwayne Carswell just releases outside of him, becomes almost a natural pick, and the fullback's wide open in the flat.
When a guy is that wide open, both the quarterback and the receiver are saying, please, please, please. Elam with the point after. And the Broncos have stunned a sellout crowd here in Seattle. This team started the second half down 10-0. They are now up 17-10.
What they've done, Mike, is I really believe they've made a statement to the fact that they are the defending Super Bowl champions and that the character of this football team will rise to the occasion. This is something Mike Holmgren and I were talking about on the field before the game. I said that Green Bay game was a big game because you were going back, but the Packers really are not that good a football team this year. This is a chance to find out how good your ball club is.
Well, Chris Miller told us yesterday, and so did Bill Romanowski. We're asking about all the injuries and all the guys that are out. So we go through that list again, but we don't have to. The thing about it, what Chris Miller said, the most amazing thing about this football team is everybody that's behind these people know that they have to step up and play. And this is what they've done. They've all stepped up to play.
Look at Miller's numbers in the second half. Since he threw that pick, he is perfect. 93 yards, his first 2 touchdown passes in 4 years, and he has his team on top. Miller is playing because Brian Greasy is hurt, because Bubby Brister is hurt. And boy, is he coming through for him. Amon Green has the seam. The kicker to beat. Elam slowed him up so that Detron Smith could make the tackle, but it's a return of 51.
You know what I like what Amon Green did at the end of this thing? I mean, he sits and waits for all the blocks in the wedge, and the wedge gives him the block. Once he breaks it to the outside, and I know it's Elam the kicker, but watch Amon Green. Up the middle, now he's going to wait and get back to the outside. But watch him attack the kicker. He knows I can't fool around. I've got to get as many yards as I possibly can. Elam does a great job.
It's really not a surprise because Pete Rodriguez, who's the special team coach of the Seattle Seahawks, is considered one of the best in the league. And you've got to figure his guys are going to make a play somewhere.
Galloway is into the top of your screen. Kitna under pressure again, and that ball looked like it was either the ball was tipped or Kitna's hand was hit as he let it go.
Is there a reason why they don't throw a little hook pass to Joey Galloway? Because the corner is off like 10 yards, and then he's backing up another 20 yards, and Joey Galloway's just coming off and running down the field.
Hold on, Trigger. Yes, there is a reason. Because it wasn't called. I personally think what would even be a little bit better would be to move Kitna out of that pocket. We saw him sprint out a couple times. The heat looks like it's coming up the middle right now. If you want to get him someplace, get him to the perimeters. Get him outside a little bit.
2nd and 10. Can the Seahawks take advantage of the big return? Kitna complete down to the 25-yard line to Sean Dawkins, but there is a flag on the play, and it looks like it's coming back.
Brian Habib, number 68. Holding.
Well, that's a big one.
And he's holding Trevor Price, number 93, if they let it stand.
Well, they're enthralled, aren't they? They're just waiting for Ed Hockley to announce his decision. Takes back a big play. Would have been a first down at the 25.
Holding. Offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Number 68. There's the big spot on our Super Straighter. Number 93 coming up. Trevor Price, he's just hanging on.
They tackle him.